I am back in Auburn, Indiana at Cruise Plaza to attend the 2025 Enthusiast Auction by Worldwide Auctioneers. This auction is a big deal as two significant auto collections are going across the block this weekend. So first we are going to tour around the show floor taking a look at all the antique automobiles, then watch a bit of the auction. Worldwide Auctioneers puts on two major auctions each year. This one, the Enthusiast Auction, takes place in April, while the Auburn auction takes place on Labor Day weekend during the Auburn Core Duesenberg Festival. This structure used to be home to two different museums. On one side there was the Cruise Automotive and Carriage Museum, and on the other the National Military Heritage Center. I do have a couple old videos on those if you'd like to see what was here before the auctions. The cars in this first showroom are mostly from the Passport collection of Steve Plaster. They are selling 68 of his over 400 collector vehicles. Here's an interesting example of a 1929 Pierce Arrow Model 125 Coupe, the first Pierce automobile with an 8-cylinder engine. It was developed as Pierce Arrow was struggling financially. In order to produce this, they essentially had to be acquired by Studebaker. Ultimately, it would not be enough to save the company. Worldwide's literature states that the design of this 1941 Cadillac Series 62 convertible coupe screams mid-century modern despite being a pre-war car, and I have to agree with that. Here's another Pierce Arrow from 1929. It's the Model 133 Touring Dual Cowl Phaeton. This is just one of 10 surviving examples with its original tonneau shield cover. Here is an exquisite 1929 Rolls-Royce Phantom 1. Its coachwork done in the style of the coveted York Roadster. Very few of these exist today. And it's even got a Spirit of Ecstasy hood ornament. This is a Shelby GT500 convertible from 1968. This high-performance sports car still retains its original sunlit gold paint scheme. She is signed by her designer, Carroll Shelby, on the glove box. The 1929 Cadillac Series 1183 Dual Cowl Phaeton was designed by Harley J. Earl, a famed body designer popular with the West Coast elite before joining onto Cadillac during the Roaring '20s. The 1940 Lincoln Zephyr is considered to be Edsel Ford's greatest automotive accomplishment because it was a car that was both beautiful and affordable. The 1954 Kaiser Darren Roadster was designed by the legendary Howard Dutch Darren. There's a classy Art Deco 1931 Cadillac all-weather Phaeton in navy blue. That's the Cadillac Flying Goddess hood ornament. This is a fine 115-year-old example from the brass era, the 1910 Rambler Model 53 touring car. It has been upgraded with an electric fuel pump. It's next to a Chevy Bel Air from 1957 with fuel injection. They are also selling an Indy 500 pace car from 2007. This was BMW's flagship motorcycle in the 1960s, the R69S. This was Burt Reynolds' golf cart. In 1981, the famous actor ordered the customized cart from Rolls-Royce and ordained it the Big Burt. There are some Native American tomahawk decals all over the front. Reynolds used this on his Jupiter Farms ranch in Florida, which he built atop a tomato farm that had been owned by Al Capone. He used this golf cart to get around while they filmed scenes for Smokey and the Bandit on his ranch. This is a Lamborghini tractor. Ferruccio Lamborghini got his start with producing tractors in 1948, and it would be many years before he would release his first sports car. The story goes that Enzo Ferrari told him to stay in his lane manufacturing tractors like this, so he went and built cars to rival Ferrari. This is a stylish 1957 edition of the tractor, all ready to hit the fields. That's a rare hood ornament on this old 1937 Hudson. This 1951 Fraser Manhattan convertible is believed to have once been owned by mega-industrialist Henry J. Kaiser. We saw a Kaiser car earlier, but he was involved with everything from the Hoover Dam to healthcare. Here's an excellent European Art Deco automobile from 1939, a BMW Cabriolet. This is awesome, a 1995 Ferrari, one of just 500 produced. Another rare car is the 1940 Buick Model 59 Estate Wagon with wood paneling. Gotta love the Ford Thunderbird convertible from 1960, next to a 47 Ford Super Deluxe station wagon. This car was known as the Creamsicle. It's a 1956 Mercury Montclair convertible. That's an ultimate luxury car from the 60s, the Cadillac convertible. They are selling off a whole car museum at today's auction. The Automobile Driving Museum in El Segundo, California, in the suburbs of Los Angeles, sadly closed down in the fall of 2024. It was started 22 years before by the collector Stanley Zimmerman, who had hundreds of vintage cars. I never had a chance to visit that museum, but one unique aspect I knew about was that the museum allowed visitors to hop in the cars and interact with them. Zimmerman passed away in 2020 and the museum never recovered from the COVID pandemic, so today most of his collection is gathered together for the last time in a different closed down museum in Indiana. Let's take a look around and get a sense for what the Automobile Driving Museum had to offer before they are all sold off to different private collectors today. The Automobile Driving Museum clearly had a wide array of cars from across the decades. That's a 1932 Buick Series 50 Sport Phaeton. That's a 1947 Lincoln Continental. Here is a Detroit Electric Coupe, a 100-year-old electric vehicle from 1922. Before it ended up in the Automobile Driving Museum's collection, this car was part of the legendary Imperial Palace Auto Museum at the Imperial Palace Casino in Las Vegas. Next to it, there's a prime example of 70s luxury in the Cadillac Coupe de Ville. Generally speaking, all of the cars sold at Worldwide Auctioneers are fully restored and functional. This is absolutely amazing. They are offering an authentic hippie bus. This 1949 model white holiday bus got refitted by hippies at some point and turned into the Groovy bus. The entire exterior is psychedelically hand-painted with all sorts of vibrant colors and symbolism. We can actually board the Groovy bus and take a look around. There is not much information provided as to who owned this and presumably lived in here, or to what degree the furnishings and articles in here are genuine. There are a lot of period furnishings in here, with everything from the silverware in the kitchen, to the vintage maps and VHS tapes. This is not listed as being from the Automobile Driving Museum, but boy, it would make a great museum piece, especially since the Groovy bus is inoperable. There are even some guitars on the bed waiting to have Imagine plucked on them. Here is the onboard toilet. I certainly did not expect to see anything like this at the Enthusiast Auction. If the Groovy bus was too much for ya, there is a 1955 Ford F-100 custom cab Marmon Harrington pickup truck instead. The Automobile Driving Museum cars are going across the block today, so they were already moving them around when I got here. There is one of 3 surviving 1916 Packard Twin 6 125 runabouts. And this one is a stylish 1929 Packard, the 640 Custom 8 Phaeton, the only one known with a 5-passenger configuration. This 1920 Ford Model T sedan has never been driven or even had gas in it. That's its chased inline 4-cylinder engine. This particular 1914 Saxon Model A Roadster was displayed in St. Louis to commemorate suffragette Alice Burke's 1916 cross-country road trip in a Saxon. The Plymouth Belvedere is a true beauty. Next to that antique circular bar, there's a 1929 Hupmobile Century 6 sedan. That's fantastic. A 1940 Packard Darren 180 Victoria convertible. This was a crown jewel of the Automobile Driving Museum from its opening day. It was more recently screen used in the Netflix series Hollywood back in 2020. Here's a great Cadillac limousine from 1939 that used to delight museum visitors in California. That's an epic highway patrol car from 1980s Los Angeles. It looks straight out of an old show like Andy Griffith or Emergency. It's next to a Coral Fraser Manhattan sedan. This is an old British car, a 1910 BSA Model 1520 touring car. This is the only surviving pre-Great War model with its side valve still in place. They're about to move out this Pontiac Bonneville convertible from 1960. I love that blue interior. Here's a 120-year-old car. A 1905 Cadillac Model F touring car with period-correct Firestone tires and wood spoke wheels. Check out this Model A Roadster from 1923. It's a bit of a mishmash of Ford parts from across the 1920s to 1940s. It's built on a Model A frame and has 3-speed manual transmission from the 30s. Okay, this one is unique and a bit bizarre. It is a one-off supercar designed by industrial engineer Dave Stollery in 2008. This Super Coupe Roadster is equipped with a Magnuson supercharged LT1 Corvette engine, so it must be a lot of fun to ride in. I believe they would occasionally take guests on rides in this at the Automobile Driving Museum, though I'm not sure I'd want to be driving that while dealing with LA traffic. Here's a classic Cadillac convertible from 1959 with the iconic high rear tail fins. This is the 1984 Zimmer Golden Spirit Coupe, which harkens back to Art Deco era automobiles. This thing cost $100,000 back in the 80s, and it's got an eagle hood ornament. Here are some colorful Thunderbirds, absolute icons from the 1950s. This is one of the 400 Cadillac Series 62 convertible sedans produced in 1941. That's an eye-catching 1964 Chevrolet Corvette Coupe. This is the Pontiac Star Chief convertible from 1955. That's awesome. A 1952 Willys Jeep with a trailer. Both seem to be meticulously restored. This Cobra sports car from the 60s is still impressive. With a 427 cubic inch V8 engine, it makes 480 horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque. I'd love to drive that. That 1954 Corvette Roadster in Pennant Blue has won the prestigious Antique Automobile Club of America's National First Prize Award. That's a big deal. There's its shiny 6-cylinder engine dubbed the Blue Flame. Here is a classic hometown build, the 1937 Cord 812 SC Sportsman Cabriolet. This one was shipped new to South Africa back in the 30s. Now it's made its way back home again to be sold in Indiana.
For any reason, you can check in with the guys and
Oh wow, there's a whole other showroom to go through.
that's still allow you to buy that car.
Let's start out with these two. The 1957 Pontiac Bonneville Fuley convertible, which came with air conditioning, next to a 1935 Packard 12 Dual Cowl Sports Phaeton. This silver left-hand drive 1949 Bentley Mark VI drophead coupe has won major awards at the Amelia Island Concours d'Elegance. That is one dazzling car. The 1931 Auburn 898 Bowtail Speedster is one of the most coveted pre-war cars on the market, so it's quite rare to see this one from the Passport collection. This is one of the earliest American sporty cars, the 1913 American Underslung Tourist car. That's a fully restored 1959 Porsche. There's an excellent Cord Phaeton. This is one of a kind, the 1938 Mercedes-Benz 320 LWB Combination Roadster 3.4L. This was a top-of-the-line design by BMW with a fully synchronized 4-speed manual gearbox. It was acquired by an American GI after the war and brought back to the States, and while it has been restored to be drivable again, it was largely left as it was found after decades of being untouched. Even with the wear and tear, this car ended up selling here for over $850,000. This was the very first Lamborghini Diablo SV Monterey edition ever made in 1998, out of a mere 20 with a 530 horsepower engine. That's a beautifully restored British sports car from 1949, an MGTC Roadster. Here is one of just 5 known 1932 Buick Series 50 sports Phaetons. 2 of them are in the building. Here is a faithful recreation of the 1948 Delay 175 GP, presented in an accurate French racing blue color. This car was modeled after the Écurie Letitia 175 LC GP car that was raced in the European Grand Prix at Le Mans in the early 50s, and reproduces its same 4-speed and other features. Here's another glorious vintage BMW build, the 540K Cabriolet B from 1937. The high-quality craftsmanship on this elegant car was built at the famed Sindelfingen factory. There's another Auburn next to a 1915 Lozier touring car. Here is a 1975 Volkswagen Samba bus with 23 windows and not set up like a hippie bus. Here is a 1932 Auburn Bowtail Speedster with its original engine, body, and chassis installed right here in Auburn nearly 100 years ago. Take a look at this 1936 Cadillac Series 80 convertible coupe with an 8-cylinder engine. This 1959 Fuley Corvette by the recreated Pauley gas station has had some serious restoration work done. Here's a random wax gas station attendant. He is not for sale. Here is where the auction happens. We'll watch some of it in a bit, but first there are some more lots available to view in here. There is some exquisite memorabilia available at the Enthusiast Auction. These include auto posters, signage, and even toy cars. These lots all actually get sold first, but we can still take a look around and appreciate them. This section is aglow with the light of over a dozen neon signs. Here's an antique lithograph of the legendary French Lick Springs Hotel in French Lick, Indiana. French Lick was certainly a popular destination for early 20th century motorists. That's a kid's edition of the Oldsmobile Omega SX from the 80s. One of my favorites here is this Jeep claw machine game to try and win Jeep ducks. Though good luck actually winning a duck out of here. There are quite a few antique planes hanging from the ceiling. I theorize that these are from the now closed down Hoosier Air Museum that was nearby. This was the Automobile Driving Museum's replica of Carl Benz's 1886 patent Motorwagen, which is regarded as the first ever practical automobile in world history and the first car ever produced. It is commonplace for an auto museum to have a replica of it. There's a few cars just for sale in here, like this 1939 Lincoln Zephyr V12 Coupe. This was one of the last race cars designed by the legendary Harry Miller. He made this car in 1937 for Indy 500 champion Ira Vale with a unique singular tubular cooling system and side-mounted gas tanks. That's a 1965 Porsche Coupe. They just brought out this bright red Corvette. Alright, let's enjoy some of the auction itself. Most of the cars going up there today are from the Zimmerman collection of the Automobile Driving Museum, and some of these cars end up fetching a lot of money in competitive purchases. It's definitely fun to watch the auction and all the fast-paced talking involved.
So for Lookout Reserve, it's a blast from the past and ready to transport you in 1980 styles. Featured in the Cutways National Calendar. Dane, I think you should sell the Porsche and buy this for the kids.
Right here, Brady wants this for all his friends. They're $10,000 a can. Already taking it.
Created at 20 horsepower. It's the automobile that put America on wheels.
Model T, here we go. We're going to get you 20,000, going to get 20, owner, going to get 20,000, going to get 20, not 20, not 20, owner, going to get 20, 10, 10, 5 grand. 5,000, going to get 5, owner, going to get 5, 5, 5, going to get 5, going to get 5. Out here. So $30,000. Marty. 429er.
A 383 cubic inch V8 engine with a 4-barrel carburetor and 4-speed torque light automatic transmission. This is lot 115, 1970 Dodge Challenger RT Coupe, offered without reserve.
70 Challenger RT Coupe, look at this thing. I mean, look at the colors of this car. Now 65,000. It's 68,500. It's 65,000. It's 65,000. 12. It's 12,000. 11,500. Now 12,000. Roll away. WD 12,000. 12,000. 12,000. 12,000. 12,000. 12,000. 12,000. Are we through? Are we down to $12,000 and a half? All right. So 1,500. 65 and 7,000, 500, 85, now 8, and 75 and 8, 8, 8,000, get him in, net, let's go, 75, $8,000 on our road, 85, 8, on our road, 20, on our road, 20, $10,000 on our road, 10, get 10 grand, and $10,000 on the 10, get 10,000, get 10, on our road, get 10, now 5, 6, 7, I got 6 already, here you 7, here's 7,000, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 75, now 8, now 5, 85, 85, on our road, 5, 5, 5, 9, 9.
Donated to the Automobile Driving Museum in 2009 by an El Segundo resident. It features a Chevy 6-cylinder engine paired with a 3-speed manual transmission. Please note the title is in transit.
Look at this beautiful steak body right here on the REO Speedwagon. What do you want to do? So we get 200,000. Gotta get 200. There 200. Gotta get 200. Gotta get 200,000. Gotta get 200. Gotta get $200,000. $100,000. Gotta get 100,000. Gotta get 50,000. Gotta get $160,000. Gotta get 115,500. 116. 116. 117,500. 120. 120,000. Gotta get 120. 100,000. 125,000. Gotta get 125. 125. 125,000, 125, 125, 125, and I have 124, 5, and 125, 5, and I have sold $124,500. Internet number 500.
Up next is lot 114, a 1956 Plymouth Belvedere Sports Coupe, offered without reserve. This is a museum-enjoyed quality driver example, fitted with newer interior and a headliner, and features a 277 cubic inch V8 engine paired with a power flight automatic transmission.
Hey, we're in Auburn, Brady. We're having an auction. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. How about a Belvedere Sports Coupe right here? $30,000. 11,500, 12, 11,500, 12, now 5. Well, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Now you get 12,500. You get 12,500. Hey, 12,000. You get 12,500. Hey, 14,500. You get 500. You get 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. You get 5, you get 500. Now 14,000. You get 500 out here. So $14,000. 12,500. What do you get? 12,500. Now 1,500. What do you get? 15, 15, 15. Now so you get 15. And now 1,500. What do you get? 15. Now 1,500. What do you get? 12,500. Get about 15,000. 15,000. You get 1,500. What do you get? 13, 14, 15. Sure. Yeah.
In a back room, I found a 1931 Ford Model A hot rod, and this is the 1931 Ford Model A 400 convertible sedan, one of the most sought after Model A editions. So that was the 2025 Enthusiast Auction by Worldwide Auctioneers. I am once again extremely impressed not just with the antique automobile offerings, but the professionalism of the organization as well. A big thanks to them for having me come out and document their prestigious auction once again. This is one of the best annual collector car auctions anywhere, so it really is worth the effort to attend or bid online if you are a collector, or are thinking about getting your first antique car. Additionally, it is possible to simply attend these auctions and take a look around for yourself. It does get especially popular during the Auburn auction, which takes place alongside the ACD festival around Labor Day. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this tour around the show floor and seeing these magnificent vehicles, including those from a closed down California car museum. Please make sure to like this video, share it, and subscribe to my channel for more. I have tons of videos on all sorts of auto museums and shows, historic places, museums, roadside attractions, and much more around the great state of Indiana, as well as across the United States and Europe. Thanks for watching!